showed up today at the Nike WHQ. Don't know exactly what that is, to be honest. The Nike worldwide headquarters. Okay, that makes more sense. But she has showed up to the Nike worldwide headquarters, and obviously this is one of those, like, she is the massive guest. They're all there.
Caitlyn Clark didn't just visit Nike's world headquarters in Oregon, she took over the building. The second she stepped inside, employees crowded the hallways, phones up, cheers booming off the walls like a superstar had arrived. This isn't the kind of welcome young WNBA players get. It's the kind of treatment Nike usually gives legends like LeBron or Serena. And there's a very deliberate reason Nike is doing it now.
Caitlyn at the Nike WHQ. Her arrival. Obviously, when it's Caitlyn Clark, they're all clapping her. It's muted right now on your screen, so like, it is what it is. And obviously promo material shown and given out. So this is the annoying thing about this is why is everything about this talking about worldwide? You can't get anything Caitlyn Clark related outside states. Can't get anything Caitlyn Clark related.
Just look at that reaction. Nike is treating her signature logo reveal like a full-blown company launch. But here's where it gets fascinating. That logo sparked real debate when it first dropped. Some fans insisted it looked more like a lifestyle fashion label than a performance basketball signature. But that's exactly the brilliance behind it. Nike learned from the Sabrina Ionescu line. Those shoes sold out instantly. And not just to hoopers. They sold to people who wanted clean, wearable sportswear. Caitlyn's logo is built for hoodies, tees, and jackets. It's engineered to live everywhere, not
Clark thing. Why they're pushing this right now is because the shoe's coming soon. This sneaker is going to be revealed soon. So they said spring. I think they said spring. It's meant to be released, I think, in spring of this year. I think if we're being real, like, she's already done the podcast rounds. She was on the Kelsey's podcast. She was on talking about the shoe. She's been doing plenty of things at Nike, talking about playing things with Nike. And there's been so many little things.
This is where Nike's strategy turns sharply intentional. They're unleashing this media wave now because the shoe reveal is closer than people realize. Spring 2025. That's the internal deadline they've already locked in. Caitlyn's been warming up the audience for months, doing the podcast rounds, sitting with the Kelsey brothers to break down the design process, and making multiple trips to Nike HQ to finalize details. And here's another overlooked piece. There's a reason she passed on Unrivaled this year. Last season she was open to the 3-on-3 league. This time she shut it down instantly during the WNBA season because Nike needed her free for the launch rollout. They needed open windows for events, media, and a coordinated debut for what could be their biggest signature athlete launch.
Curry shit isn't and Steph Curry's coach reposting everything, and Caitlyn Clark posting Steph Curry wearing her shoes. There's plenty, because, like, again, her sneakers are literally, they are the most worn, they're the most worn sneakers in the NBA this season. Like, Caitlyn's P's have been the most worn sneakers in the NBA. So at the end of the day, like, if it was that big a deal, the NBA players were wearing Caitlyn Clark shoes, she would have posted more about it, or, you know, with her sneakers being first and second in the NBA.
Now here's the part that should make every other sneaker brand panic. Steph Curry laced up Caitlyn's PE shoe. Coach reposted it. And this wasn't some publicity stunt for social media. The Caitlyn Clark PE has been the most worn signature shoe in the NBA this season. Not LeBron's, not Jordan's, not KD. Caitlyn Clark's. NBA athletes are willingly choosing a WNBA player's signature shoe over the biggest men's lines in basketball. That has literally never happened before. When male professionals decide to compete wearing a woman's signature model, that's not just a cool headline. That's the market signaling a power shift in how women's basketball products are valued.
That Caitlyn's everywhere. The shoe is everywhere. And it's going to be it's going to be Nike's biggest sneaker launch for a new signature athlete. Probably since being a signature athlete really matters. Since it hasn't mattered that much. Like, the launch of the Giannis shoe, who's been their best athlete they've had, wasn't that big. Their launch of the Luka shoe, because he was with Jordan Brand. Their launch of even the Bookers, the Jazz, the Kyrie ones, which were great.
And this is why Caitlyn's launch is a make or break moment for Nike's entire signature strategy. Signature athletes are expensive assets. You're paying tens of millions a year to names like Giannis, Booker, or Tatum. But here's the challenge Nike keeps running into. None of those launches generated the cultural spark required to justify the investment. Giannis's line was steady but not explosive. Luka's Jordan rollout barely escaped the sneaker niche. Even Kyrie's performance line, which was genuinely elite, never broke into mass market culture the way Nike hoped. Caitlyn Clark changes the math. Her appeal isn't confined to hoopers. It reaches casual sports fans, women who've never purchased basketball shoes, and parents whose daughters want to emulate her. Nike is betting that signature athletes still matter, but only when they evolve beyond the sport entirely.
There's a lot of sports where there's no signature athletes and Nike are doing just fine in those sports. So I think the true value of a signature athlete is going to come down to Caitlyn Clark. Like, I do think Caitlyn Clark is going to be I think she's going to be one of the last two female signature athletes. My guess for signature sneaker, is that one of Paige Beckers or Juju Watkins is going to get a signature sneaker. I think both of them are signed to deals. By the way, as far as I'm aware, Juju signed to a bigger deal than Caitlyn Clark, but it's not a guaranteed signature sneaker. She's just going to be getting her, she's going to be the face of a line. She's going to be like the face of Nike are going to have like a generic sneaker where she's going to be the face of.
So here's where the future of women's signature basketball really gets interesting. Caitlyn already has her signature line. Aya Wilson has hers with Nike. Sabrina's line has proven to be a commercial win. And then comes the next wave. Paige Beckers and Juju Watkins are both locked into major deals. In fact, Juju's Nike contract is actually bigger than Caitlyn's initial deal. But here's the key distinction. Juju doesn't have a guaranteed signature shoe. She's being positioned as the face of a broader performance category. It's similar to when Nike refused to fully commit to rookie Blake Griffin, making him the face of the Hyperdunk line instead of giving him his own signature. It was insurance. And in Blake's case, that gamble paid off because his trajectory never matched the hype. Nike is applying that same blueprint to Juju. She'll have spotlight, unique colorways, and visibility, but not her own line. That level of commitment is being held for Paige or whoever rises as the larger cultural force. And right now, based on unrivaled viewership and her social media footprint, Paige is making a serious argument.
Happened. And Caitlyn's got nothing to shoe Aja, Sabrina. I think one of Juju or Paige, whichever one of them ends up being the bigger draw. I think it could very well be Paige. I'm not gonna lie, like, I'm looking at unrivaled numbers, I'm looking at everything, and I'm like, nowhere near Caitlyn level in terms of hype, but like, Paige, there is a level of hype there with Paige. There genuinely is. So I can see that happening. And her getting a signature sneaker, and then like Juju maybe being the face of a generic line, because they have to have some generic lines as well, because there's so many non-signature athletes and they can't just be over.
But here's where the timing of this Nike visit gets genuinely fascinating. The WNBA is in the middle of CBA negotiations that could shut down the entire 2025 season. Players are openly threatening to sit out, and the league and the players' union are billions apart on revenue splits. And yet Nike is pushing forward with this launch plan like none of that exists, which means they either know something we don't, or they're making a calculated bet. If the CBA gets resolved by February, I fully expect Nike to announce the shoe within 48 hours to ride the wave of positive momentum. But if negotiations stall into March or April, Nike's still releasing. They already have a contingency map for a season-less rollout.
Situation for her during her rookie season, but hopefully that's all kind of been put to bed and we get to see the sneaker soon. My guess is that the launch of the Caitlyn Clark shoe is going to be sometime in the next, I think we will see what it looks like in the next 6 weeks. I think maybe Nike don't want to announce the shoe and release the shoe during.
And here's the genius of the backup plan. The FIA World Cup qualifiers in March. Team USA has a qualifying schedule, and Caitlyn Clark is on that roster. So even if the WNBA season gets cancelled, she'll still be playing high-stakes basketball on an international stage. That's exactly when the shoe will make its debut. Caitlyn will wear it in a Team USA game. Nike will drop official photos at the same moment, and pre-orders will go live instantly. It's the same playbook Nike has used for every major signature launch, except this time, the athlete is only in her second WNBA season. That's how much faith Nike has in Caitlyn's market